Year of the Mecha returns to the original trilogy of Another Century's episode. And boy, this is a this is a good fucking game to come back to.
Oh yeah, this is the one I played, and this one was a lot of fun from what I remembered.
You played this one as well as the third. Yeah,
yep.
Which most of us did. I think, like, the most out of, like, the original 3 games, to say the least.
And I felt like this game, they definitely knew what they were doing more.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is... Like, I've already, like, made the Zone of the Enders comparisons when we first showed off the original Another Century's episode. You know, like, the clear inspirations from that and, like, adding so many more playable units and weapons and stuff to, like, give your combat options and, like, boosting more substance. And it had all kinds of other stuff to it as well, as far as, like, its campaign structure and the like. But this is where, like, the idea of high-speed robot action as, like, a kind of like a subgroup of mecha games just, like, took a massive jump up in terms of what was possible.
It also has way more... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just saying that. And because this is another Japanese-only game, good luck getting us to actually explain what the hell's going on.
Robots shooting. They're just toys. We're just bashing our toys together.
There's a bunch of Xeon, Neo Xeon, I guess, at this point, because we have to acknowledge Char's counterattack is still in this.
Yeah, and also, like, there's way more characters, I remember, in this one, too.
It was like a damn near doubling of the entire roster, including updates of original ones. Like, Gundam Wing is still in here, but now it's the Endless Waltz version. Dragonar's back, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit, as much as I've watched TV Gundam Wing and have some nostalgia for it, I somehow completely missed Endless Waltz. All I really know is just I know what the updated mobile suit designs are in that, and that they apparently decided that's what they always looked like. Even though even though my response is, "Are you high?" But we got Macross.
Yeah.
Like, this was their debut in Another Century's episode, and the one to start to kick it off was representing "Do You Remember Love?" And yeah, just because obviously, like, many of the different series from the first game carry over, because obviously we talk about Dragonar, we've seen Brain Powered and Aura Battler Dunbean also making appearances in here. Gundam Wing updated to Endless Waltz. Blue Comet SPT Laser, as you'll see, is also back in here, and is like, this game is what makes that particular unit my favorite in the entire series.
Hmm.
But like the Macross units in this are like a close second on that, just because I absolutely love doing all the different transformations and like and the boost model it has to just very effortlessly like move around through the sky as close as you can get to like a pure Macross experience.
Yeah, I remember like having a lot of fun with the Macross units because of just how good it felt to like transform to each form.
You know what also feels good in this? That
What?
the TV version of the Deshko finally gets acknowledgement.
Yes, that
And
too.
new Gundam's back. You can't have a giant robot crossover without the fucking new Gundam.
You gotta have the new Gundam. Come on.
Yeah, you need that thing fucking loaded out with its fin funnel, one wing, and the bazooka where it could just angle itself backwards on the y-axis and then just shoot the rocket that way. Like,
Yeah.
only Amuro could pull off stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's my boy.
There's Lasner. Wait, Lasner?
Yep, Lasner. Just taking out a single battleship in VMAX. Also, some of the units from Stardust Memory.
Oh yeah, Stardust Memories too.
Which I forget, was that the OVA, or is that a different one I'm thinking of where one of the mobile suit, one of the Gundam designs was actually done by Shoji Kawamori? I remember reading something where like he actually got to like do a design for like one of those 80s like Universal Century OVAs. Oh yeah, and here's the close at the lineup. We got fucking God Gundam in this bitch.
Finally, now this lineup is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this shot too.
Yeah, it's... You really do not get enough of this type of elaborate CG opening on boot up in games anymore. Like I feel like there were like plenty of notable games that you could point to where like you could just get something like this on the PS2. With I think like the obvious example of the best one ever being Onimusha 3.
Yeah.
That one's a classic. But yeah, look at this. There's like a save file that like has everything upgraded to max, because the grind to actually upgrade everything yourself is a pain in the ass. So I just downloaded a save off the internet. And yes, as you can see, 107 units. That is how many there are. That's like, pretty sure that's at least like double or more than double of what the amount of units you had in the first game was. Granted, I think a lot of that, naturally comes from the fact that the, this obviously building off the same engine or whatever, they had those old units from the first game that it was easy to just port them over to this game while building out a whole bunch of new ones. So, like, this is what it looks like when you're starting a new game. You can select which franchise you prefer, and I believe that's supposed to give you like a buff to the sort of the skill points that you earn, when using that unit, so that you can like upgrade them faster. Which means, which includes, for whatever reason, even though it's not an existing anime series, you can pick the Another Century's Episode original, because that's the one you start with naturally. And like, I've done multiple playthroughs of just the raw campaign, like back to back, not even free mission. And I can say that like, if you focus on just one unit, I'm positive it takes about like 3/5 to maybe about 2/3 of the entire campaign length to get a single unit when you have it unlocked from like from like nothing to max. It is a very long grind, which 2 weeks from now, when we show off Another Century's Episode 3, like, you'll find that at least with that one, all the units in that aren't fully upgraded, but like, I've not had to spend nearly as much time on getting so many of those units to max as I did here, just because like the point acquisition in that game is sped up so much more.
Yeah, I have a confession. I might have, after finishing this game, I might have downloaded a full save file after.
I don't blame you. Yeah. I mostly downloaded the save just because there was like some point where like I like lost the save. I didn't have a big enough memory card, and I just like for whatever reason like decided to just like delete the save to make room or something like that. But whatever. So other things that are new to this game. There is a new type of method for selecting your weapons and using them. If you remember in the first game, you had square, which was like your primary attack that could change to melee if you were close enough. Circle was your sub-weapon. L1 and L2 were like your additional sub-weapons. And then each unit, or I think most every unit in that game, had like a special ability that was activated by clicking in both analog sticks. You know, like VMAX on Laser, as an example. Here, things are streamlined so much more and allow for so many more weapons in theory that you get the choice of a Zone of the Enders style, like, sub-weapon select, where you basically replace the weapon you have equipped to the square button by, like, holding the button and then, like, cycling through with the D-pad. Or, more intuitively, you have the shift selection system where you hold L1 and then all your face buttons, R1 and R2, can be replaced with all your different sub-weapons and abilities. This is the way to play another Sentries episode. Also, we have actual for real flight modes. Like,
yeah, we do.
Like, we have like an easy method of flight where it's like you point, like, you know, as you can see in the diagram, pushing to the left will like turn it left and like kind of do all the adjustments automatically, as well as or you could have something as like flight reverse, as it calls flight, because if you push left it'll rotate, and then like if you but also reverse refers to that the pulling back or forward on the stick acts like it would be on like the joystick on the stick of like a plane itself, you know. So you pull back to go up, down, or like up to go down, things like that. Naturally, we'll go with real.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah, all these are just additional options that I just kind of, I believe I leave on as. Yeah, because like the last one's just I believe it just says vibration. Yo, Hasio, you made it.
Hey, Sumi.
Yeah.
I gotta be right back really quick, but just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this whole game's in like Japan only. Like the text, voice lines, we're not gonna be able to understand what the hell is happening. What I can say at the very least with this game is that plot-wise, it is not a sequel to the first game. It's more like a reimagining parallel universe, I guess, version of it. There's still like, because there's like a lot of like the same units from the first game. This time, instead of your original series units being the Gespens from Super Robot Wars, you actually have a for real new actual original mecha as like your main protagonist unit. And also E2 is still like an important plot point as far as I can tell. Like the volatile super energy source that every villain from all the other anime series in the last game were like trying to get, all the way down to even Char himself leading Neo Zeon to get it and having like a big fight with him around Axis. Ooh, Devil Gundam. That said though, like I even not really understanding how this like what's being said in this opening cutscene, there's definitely a boosted production values, to say the least. Like, we actually get, like, pilot cutaways now. You didn't even get that in the first game. It was just shots. How is that series of Gundam CGI shorts called? Like that? I genuinely do not know or remember like what that might be referring to. But our point is, oh, we're back. Yeah, I was just explaining things as like this opening cutscene is playing out, demonstrating that the production values of Another Century's episode also got a big boost here.
Yeah, there is way more than there was in the first game, which wasn't much from the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, like there are still like mid cutscene missions and all that, but you know, we got pilot cutaways now.
Yeah.
With a decent cell shading attempt on them, so they didn't have to bother with animating 2D portraits. Though you're still gonna see 2D portraits when in gameplay, though, like over like text boxes essentially.
Just don't ask us what the story is.
Nah, yeah, just in fact, the best way to just think about it is you remember what little that you recall of Another Century's episode 1 in terms of plot? Yeah, that doesn't matter. This just overwrites it. Gundam Evolve is what those shorts were called. Okay. Yeah, this game is pretty wild. Like, we actually got, you know, original, for real units made for this game this time, instead of just, like, carryovers from other original series, as well as their own original characters.
It's nice.
Yes, it very much is.
You can definitely tell they put way more budget into this.
You can also tell immediately that this is a version of Earth where the events of, like, the 1 Year War didn't happen exactly as they did.
Yep. Because Australia's there.
Well, Sydney is, at the very least. But yes, as like, the katakana shows, like, this is, our player unit is known as the Gun Arc. Which, I feel with that one, especially with the controls demonstrating how there was a flight model now, and like you could choose your control method for it. Like, these units do transform into like into a flight unit themselves. So this was, I guess, their original unit they came up with to kind of best demonstrate some of the new features that like this game was capable of compared to its predecessor.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, these are our main characters. Marina's the girl. Taku's, or Tak, I guess if you say it correctly, is like the actual main character.
Mm-hmm.
Both are test pilots for the Gun Arc. Yeah, Tak. Right. Yeah, the U is deliberately meant to be silent.
Oh wait, we do have someone here who can understand what's going on. We have Sumi.
Yeah, with like the on the fly translation. Yeah, here it is. We just glide around on the ground as is. Activation of everything. Like, the first thing you'll notice going from the first Another Century's episode to this, like, speed and control responsiveness is greatly improved.
It just feels really good.
Yeah, even better. I want to quickly actually check quickly, since we have a command list. I just wanted to double check that. Yeah, like, this gives us, like, you know, like our melee weapon, our main weapon, our shift select weapons, and all that, as well as like our specific melee combos. I wanted to double check and make sure, since all of these are like different. Like, there's a very non-standard approach to these. Armored Core looking kind of funky. I mean, like, these are, I mean, this is by FromSoft. Also, like, I would not call this Armored Core, to say the least. FromSoft has shown they are capable of making more than one type of mecha game than that. Okay, yeah, so there we go. I think I remember. Because, unlike in the first game, melee and ranged weapons are now actual separate inputs.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, this is from FromSoft? Yep. It's from straight from their golden age, to say the least. And there we go. Oh, wait. Oh, I think I finally remember what it is that... Oh, I'm not going to really be able to, I think, change it from here, but I noticed I forgot one of the options from, like, the start of the game was, like, an auto height adjustment. So, like, that going up and down you're seeing me doing, that's just happening automatically. I technically don't want that. Just, of course, I didn't know it was from them. Movement reminded me of something. I mean, it probably could remind you of Zone of the Enders.
It feels like maybe they were influenced by Zone of the Enders.
Zoe might have actually been stated as like an explicit reason for why Ace was created specifically. Might have been like a reason that came specifically from the band Presto side, if I'm being honest. Because you know how they are, like, with all like the different games that they've put out, with all like these different Mecha licenses, and they've had, and like as far as like Band Presto covered Mecha games that are in real time, this isn't the first one of those. They definitely tried it with other things like Real Robot Regiment and the like.
Even the music is really Zone of the Enders like.
Something like that. Yeah, it's got such like a good gravitas to it. You know, and it's the sort of thing that does because like at least when I think of like music in like FromSoft's Mecha games in the past, I do think of like the various styles that Armored Core has had, especially with like this more than anything I think actually reminds me of early third generation Armored Core, because they had this musical style they went for that I think can be best described as a synth orchestra. Like there's a lot of orchestral instruments, stringed and whatnot being used, but also like a subtle electronic element used throughout it that gave like everything that you were doing just like a lot more like weight, increase the stakes of what you were doing.
And yeah, Loris, this game controls really well. It feels good to play, like I said.
Yeah, like Another Centuries Episode 1 is still a really good game. I think even especially in terms of its campaign structure, I think and mission design, that's the one thing where I'd say it still has the most merits, like in those areas. But you like after you play that game and go back to this is one of those instances where it can feel really hard to go back to something older.
Like, they really embraced the arcadey nature for this and the third game.
They absolutely did, yeah. Yeah, everything about, like, just how it controls, like, fundamentally is still the same. Like, the boost meter is used in the same way. Like, it's a toggle that moves you faster but increases your turn radius. Flicking the stick will obviously do your quick dash. It's just that you now have, like, a much more intuitive method of accessing a wide variety of weapons at once without needing to break the pacing of the action. Alright. That's though not doing the best of jobs on like the chain combo system, as it were, since that's like kind of a big part of the scoring in this game. Because the idea is that once you start attacking and like dealing hits, you see a timer with like chain next to it, like pop up next to the mini map, and the idea is that like the more attacks you deal in rapid succession, as well as kills, like the meter, like and like the keeps going up, and you want the time on it to keep going higher as long as the meter does not empty completely. Oh yeah, and here's how it is when you fly around. I will say though, it's kind of neat, but like it's the sort of thing where I find it's really only useful if you're wanting like a quick way to get from point A to B, because there's some aspects with controlling it, whether you're using the easy or realistic flight mode, that I find is a bit lacking in like usability for actual combat purposes. And yeah, dash is a toggle in this game. Like that's how you're able to kind of like move around a lot at these high speeds. But like the thing that is really nice with kind of how they've improved on the boost dash in this is like when I'm going past here, I can finally turn around and start boosting away at like a slower speed, but still able to hit them from behind. You remember in the first game I was trying to do it a couple of times, remembering, oh yeah, the first game for whatever reason was like, if you went past your target and then like tried to shoot, you wouldn't shoot at them. You would just shoot in your forward-facing direction.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, we could summon an orbital laser.
Yeah.
This, admittedly, though, it does kind of highlight, like, just kind of one of the other frustrating things with, like, having to go the route of downloading a save off of the internet. Because everything is maxed out, the person that maxed it out also decided to unlock the limit release, which means every unit has infinite ammo.
Yep.
And it kind of diminishes, like, the whole point of... Oh, geez, I think charging up that strike actually did damage to me as well.
I think it might have.
Yeah. But yeah, like, not having, like, the reload, like, cooldown on weapons really does change a lot of the kind of, like, how best to approach combat because of, like, the chain combo system. What is this, Gundam X? Not in this game, but in the sequel, yes.
That's in the third game, Sumi.
Yeah, Gundam X is in that one, and you totally have that ability. Oh, hey, Argama.
Yeah, the third game decided we're going for an apocalypse route. So let's have all the post-apocalypse mecha shows in it, I guess.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, they did have yeah, cause God, oh man, the roster in ACE-3 is so good that the only thing frustrating about it is the units from ACE-2 that they had to leave behind. Mostly I'm talking about Leisner, though. The fact that Leisner is not in ACE-3 is the only thing that keeps it from being a 100% shoe-in for the best roster.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but considering everything else in that game.
Yeah. Also in ACE-3, they went back to having the Prince of Darkness version of the Deshko, which is like, why? Why did you have to take Gai Daigoji away from me, you assholes? It's true. I said that the TV version represented in this, which means you do get to have Guy's Estevalis unit in this game.
God damn it, Sumi.
I am not going to indulge that pun. Fuck you.
God damn it, Sumi. God damn it.
All right, let's get back to let's fuck around with Stardust Memory. But we can at least also show off like our whole roster now. So kind of working down, you know, our Aura Battler Dumbean units are at the top. Then we got Leisner itself, including, this is actually a cool thing that is more noticeable for people that are familiar with the production and like what could have been for Leisner. This is the Mark II version of the titular mecha that would have been in the main show had it not had its episode count cut short. Like, this was supposed to be Eiji's, like, big upgrade where, like, where it could also transform into a flight mode. That's its main thing. And it still has VMAX and all the other stuff that makes the Leisner so awesome. Then you got Elgheim, you know, it's another returning series from the first game. With all just these fantastically, like, you can see the portraits for the characters. I just love how fantastically 80s anime they all are.
Oh, they're so anime.
They're so 80s. I love it.
And yeah.
And then good old Dragonar is in here. All three of like the units themselves. You know, brain powered, kick-ass opening theme. That's about it. There's still some Prince of Darkness represented, or at least I think with the, was I? Oh no, maybe I forgot if, oh, I guess maybe like this exact design was also in Prince of Darkness, I forget. But obviously, like, there's like that one asshole I'm forgetting the name of from the TV series. There's Akito in his non-edgelord form, finally. And then even we got, you know, Izumi, there's Guy, Hikaru, Ryoko. But we do have their Prince of Darkness versions as well if you want. As well as the Black Selena. So yeah, there's Prince of Darkness, but like in all fairness, like the version of these characters that factors in primarily to like the actual plot of this game, it is the TV version. Rest assured, you do get moments with Guy Daigoji, and it is beautiful.
As it should be.
Yeah, Akatsuki. Okay, Akatsuki was his name, right. And then, of course, as mentioned, Gundam Wing's back, but this time it is the Endless Waltz version. All 5, including Zex with the Tall Geese 3. Can't have a crossover without Char's counterattack. Sazabi and New Gundam. As well as this one. Then we got like the GP series 01, 2, and 3. Like the red text there, as you can see, that's basically to tell you that you can't bring it into the particular mission for whatever reason, either because that unit is active in the mission as an NPC or enemy, or in some cases, they are way too big to actually be usable because they're meant for space. This is one of the bosses, and it is one of the post-game unlocks. Yeah. Then, of course, Macross, you remember Love. You got, like, the armored Valkyrie. There's Milia's Zentradi unit. Then all the different versions of the VF. There's Domon Kashu, God Gundam.
Yep, there's G Gundam.
Yeah. And then Wings of Rian, I believe it's called, which is like a... I forget if it's like supposed to be like a sequel or like a side series thing that's like has relations to Aura Battler Dunbean. Like the whole purpose of the mecha, they still follow the same sort of like organic bug mecha looking design to them. And then you have the Ace originals. You got like the Gun Arc. Yeah, then Buster Arc. And then like I forget the full, or whatever it's called, I forget. Phase Arc, that's what it is, Phase Arc. Thank you, Sumio. Yeah, and these are all like the different arc series of units. So with that being said and done, I think it's only fair with how much I've gushed about it. We gotta go with the Mark II.
Might as well.
Yeah. You can look at the command list as well to kind of see what all you got. Quite a few melee combos in the mix. There we go. Yeah, although there is, like, just trying to remember if the, Right, yeah, because there are then these, like, sub-unit versions that you can, like, select on, like, the same units. Some of them, like, for the Estebalis, it's actually, like, they're different armor pieces and, like, maneuverability, like, equipment that's meant for space, you know? So, like, if you were to select, like the VF1s from Macross, you would have the option of just the regular VF1 as is, or the ability to equip the Super Pack or Strike Pack. Yeah, Planning Edition, because like this is like just an alternate color scheme, like that was also devised as part of this, because this was a unit that never made it onto the screen in the original anime. This was like a production idea. Anyway. For a wingman, who would be a good one to go with?
Who would you choose? Who do you think you want to go with, Laserman?
Let's see. Yeah, I guess we could go with that. Yeah, and like this is also like another example where it's like, yeah, the like the BWS, that's one like we can't deploy with that because I think that's meant to be like a flight mode specifically like for space. But yeah, we can go with this because I think when you start like an actual new game, like this unit is actually one of the early game ones that you get immediate access to. So we're gonna go with that. We can like go in here to like upgrade our units if we need to, but obviously everything on this unit has been maxed out. You know, that's just how it is. And I'm trying to remember this. Right, so, yeah, I forget what this is, but I do believe this is supposed to be, like, special like certain stat boost items that you can equip for a mission to kind of give you an edge in certain categories. I forget all what they do, and frankly, like, there was a point after a while with this game where I just stopped bothering with that menu entirely. Yeah, and stuff like recovery kits and things like that. So enough explanation. Let's actually get it back into the action.
Let's pilot some robots.
Mm-hmm. Ah, beam flashes.
Yeah.
Not just happening in a cutscene, that is actually a game mechanic in this. It will happen frequently, and most often you'll end up losing them. And I'm not even gonna front, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like we said. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just look how fast this is moving. Look how good like this arc lightning gun is, especially for chain combos.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I even love the little backflip it does like that when you want to start boosting in the opposite direction immediately.
So I've mentioned that I played the multiplayer for the third game.
Yes.
And since that was with a 100% save file, and we're both picking fast robots, it just went at insane speeds.
Oh yeah. It is no shock that just any version of Laser, original or Mark II, is the best option. Just one of the straight up best units of the entire game. But at least with the Mark II, kind of as you can see right here, we don't have many weapons to choose from in our shift selection system. But one of the most important ones is the gray one is grayed out the one that's assigned to square is grayed out because that requires us to be in VMAX, which we can activate once we hit circle if we so choose. I'm gonna at least wait until later on because it's appropriate to save VMAX for the end. Go. Oh yeah, and that's just just mission update text that is kind of telling you how things have updated or changed. Anyway, VMAX. Never got to show this off in the first game, and now we can just press square to automatically charge directly into them.
Yep. Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's way more. You could see I don't remember, the first game didn't have cutscenes like these.
It did not have any. It did not have the pilot cutaways. Was the thing. There were cutscenes, the mecha themselves would animate, but that was basically all you had to get any sort of implication of these being cutscenes where a story was playing out.
Yeah.
And this is also the game where they introduced the combination attacks. Naturally, though, because of the fact that we got a strange assortment of mecha in this, we did not get any of the special combinations. We'll definitely have to show those off with some of the other series in this game. Because yes, you absolutely bet your ass that there is going to be a combination attack that's specific to when you have Akito and Guy on the same team. Double Gekigan Flare.
As it should be.
Yeah, especially just look at that, with the meter buildup on my chain combo. It's at a point where I'd have so little worry of it actually running out. I'm just gonna get a huge bonus on chain timer, as it were. You know what? VMAX again, just because the limit release is stupid and makes everything infinite ammo, thus kind of breaking some of the challenge.
I mean, yeah, I get like why they put something like that in, but it really breaks the entire game.
Especially when I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, because of how the upgrading was so different in the first game, like, there was no reason for them to have a limit release. Because in this, upgrades is way more straightforward than traditional because you're not making any trade-offs. Like, the idea is that, like, you upgrade a stat, like, you can basically, over time, get all your stats upgraded to max if you're committed enough.
Is that like an original like enemy?
I think so, because like this game was also the one where like, so like Another Sanchez episode 1 did have original enemies that weren't just, you know, the like antagonists from the existing anime series, but they had no bearing on the story in that game. Like they effectively existed just to kind of pad out like the enemy forces. Oh, and Marina's dead.
Oh, well.
Dead in air quotes, I guess, technically, because obviously, as this is an anime-type plot, it's naturally not going to be that way for long. Kind of, she ends up being a bit of a turncoat throughout most of the game before she goes back to our side. But, like, oh, this is also an important thing to notice as well, and also why it contributes to what I was talking about with this game, where trying to get all your units upgraded to max is such a huge grind. The amount of, like, points you get from completing missions isn't that huge unless you complete the missions as part of a full operation in the campaign itself. Like, that's what that fifth category is right there, because this mission and the previous one were all part of the same operation. Kind of, it's going under the same logic as, like, the first game, where missions were broken up into, like, operations, like where one was you were meant to go straight to the next one after the other, and as such they were pretty short. But that obviously means it's like the only way to like get as much points as you need is to keep playing the campaign in sequential order over and over and over again, and there's no really good simple mission you could rely on that is guaranteed to get you like the most amount of points. At least the most amount of points where it feels like it matters.
Yeah.
Because the payouts are so small. I'm just going to keep skipping because we got to get back to more gameplay. There's still only so much that we can explain with this.
Unfortunately, neither of us are fluent in Japanese.
Definitely not.
We just like giant robots.
Yeah, it's like we got passing familiarity with enough of the series represented in this that we can sort of get by. We can sort of assume the motivations. Right, options. Controls. Camera. Trying to remember. God, trying to remember. Haseo, quick, help us with like the quick translation on some of these options. Is one of these specifically for third from the back? Like, I'm trying to find specifically the option that is meant to, like, I think properly disable the height adjustment because of that constantly happening from like the first mission.
Help us, Haseo.
2 down. Oh, 1 down. Like this? Yeah, it's kind of a bit difficult working on a delay naturally. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the rescue on that.
Our savior.
Hell yeah. I'll save that as well just to make sure that option is saved, especially as far as... you know, that it doesn't interfere with when we go into free mission, because that's what we're doing next. Like, there's, like, it's... Because you can play the missions exactly as they are in free mission, you just don't get the extra, like, operation point bonus for completing all the missions in a sequence. So we'll just do that and see just how much we fucking got, you know, because Operation 01, like these two were part of that first one, then Operation 2 goes on, 3, 4, etc. It eventually goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, there's one with like a big space elevator. Oh yeah, 20. Yeah, I believe, yes, 20 and 21. This is actually the ones where I think like the Macross units actually start factoring in to the plot.
Yeah.
Because now it takes us straight to South Italia Island. So we're gonna check that out because I know my Macross.
Well, you might as well just use the Macross unit then.
Indeed, I will. Yeah, and we'll play as the GOAT himself, the original space fucker, Maximilian Genius.
Max Genius. His name is Max Genius.
Yeah,
that's how you know he's great.
Yeah. And again, like I never pass on the fact of the that again he was the original space fucker. He pioneered the way for cross-species marriage. And so we got. Oh wait, hold on. I accidentally. Whoops, I meant. Right, I forgot just with how like kind of. Sort of nested like the like how many times you have to press circle to select before you finally confirm that this is the unit you want to go with, because it's not just select, then you have to then like select this or press square if you want to swap to like a different variation on the same unit. Like this is obviously the one with the strike pack, but that can't be used unless we're in space. So let's get Hikaru on the team. There we go. Oh yeah, and because this is in free mission mode, it's like if you were playing like on this mode and you hadn't unlocked everything, this is where you would go to use your ace points to unlock new units. But we got the original 3. No 4 in this one. Sorry, Kakizaki, you weren't good enough. Below the space fucker is the space fucker. Well played. Anyway, it's not quite like a launch from the Macross itself, but I mean look at that shot. That's straight from the OP.
Yeah. And hear the Macross.
Yeah, like the I still love the commitment to having like these special like launch sortie sequences before you go into a mission.
Yeah, I think almost every unit has like their own special launch thing.
Yeah. There we go. Got Dogfight playing. Oh yeah, and also like because even though this is around South Italia Island, we still got plenty of other units kind of coming in from other series. But yeah, we could turn into fighter mode. We got Gerwalk. And then, of course, can't forget Batroid. Yeah, I love playing these units so much because of how it demonstrates, like what I was talking about with the differences in like boost models between units. Yeah, like with this one being like kind of what I refer to as like the omnidirectional movement, where it's like if you're moving left, you can very quickly like change direction. You don't have like a large turning radius imposed on you, but your facing position is obviously locked in place. All right. Let's go. Okay.
I just love how much, like, you can tell how much love they put into these units too.
Definitely. And also, like, kind of going back to this game after so long, and with its kind of like let's double check again to see like what like its melee combos are. I do kind of lament how ever so slightly that in A.C.E. they decided to just very heavily simplify like this whole melee system to be like just the pure equivalent of a Dynasty Warriors like dial combo, where it's just X amount of light hits and then it finishes with a heavy.
Yeah.
At least here it's like, yeah, when you start it, you're like when you're in a melee chain, as you can see, when you press square, it doesn't switch back to, using your ranged weapon. It acts as like a second melee attack that can be used for specific moves. Metroid time. Yeah.
Is that the actual name of the move?
I would not be surprised. I'm going to assume Haseo isn't fucking with us. Yeah, the Valkyrie even has budget animation freezing when shooting. A budget? What are you talking about? The Valkyries clearly have more budget than the human characters.
That's where they put all the money into. The most important parts.
Yeah. It really is funny how, like, in that few years span from, like, 79 into, like, the early 80s, like, two pivotal series that got their start, Gundam and Macross, they basically ran into opposite problems, where it's like Gundam's, like character designs and animation quality was, like, very good for its time, but everything about the mecha were off model. And then Macross was like, let's just do the opposite.
Yeah. It's like using their budgets for two different things there.
Yeah. That's one thing I do find a bit kind of frustrating with like the Macross units in this is that the order in which you can transform is like restricted somewhat. In that if you're in fighter mode, you have to go, and you want to go into Batroid, you have to go into Gerwalk manually beforehand. You can't, like, it's not a three-way cycle where it can go in both directions. So, like, if I want to switch back into like, fighter mode, like, from this, I have to go back into Gerwalk. Which is kind of a pain, but whatever.
It's annoying, but you do get used to it, I think.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where it is, like, yeah, depending on what your priorities are, like A.C.E. could be seen as, like, the best game in the series, entirely because of how they managed to still find even more, like, mechanical refinements, like, on top of, like, a framework that was already, like, a huge upgrade over, like, the game that came before it, you know? Like you play this for the first time after the first in the Centuries episode, and you're like, how could they have possibly found a way to, like, improve it further? And then it turns out, oh wait, no, there were a bunch of tiny, niggling leftover things that still needed to be fixed. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, look at that dodge roll!
Oh, that's so cool. Oh yeah. Fast too.
I love it when the the dodge animations are able to change based on whether you're airborne or on the ground.
Yeah, this is a really cool detail.
Mm-hmm. All right. And also, it's kind of annoying with the when in flight mode where you're. Like, it is very easy to do the barrel rolls unintentionally because it is activated by flicking the left stick in the same way you would use to, like, do a dash. Come on. Yo, how you doing, Arian? You wanna watch anime robots fight each other? Because we got that.
Yep, we got a lot of anime robots fighting, and it's cool as hell.
Yeah, some of these we have some knowledge of, so you can consider it doubly so as like a history lesson. But yeah, now it's like technically like the end of the mission. That's why we can't lock back on, even though the enemies are still trying to attack us for whatever reason.
There's still a bit of jank there.
Little bit, yeah. This is still FromSoft after all. Even though, like, PS2 really was, like, the one time where like, I guess, like, the specs that they designed their game for combined with what the PS2 was capable of kind of meant that, like, a lot of their games were actually able to run well, which seems like kind of an unheard thing for most people that only ever play their games on consoles.
Yeah, because this game is running at a stable FPS too.
Yeah, 60 even. Never mind the fact that it's using like field rendering and other PS2 tricks to maintain like that FPS, which obviously means that like, oh boy, if I did not have the upscaler that I did, this would have been a nightmare to try and like properly show off. It would have been like with a real shitty like de-interlacing method or something.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let's see. We could as well, you know, we'll jump over to yeah, because I think because I'm pretty sure this is the one where where like I do believe this is the mission that's again Macross related, but in this game, there is a moment in actual gameplay where you're fighting around the Macross and during the moment where it's getting ready to transform, and you actually get to continue playing as it's transforming in real time. We'll give the we'll give the Macross boys a bit more time before we switch over to like I don't know, like the Deshko, because we never really did actually get to show off the. Oh, wait, we can't deploy Max on this one. Fuck. Or, Oh, wait, no, I actually remember what it is. Oh, fuck me, I'm an idiot. I just realized it's because they're already in, like, my wingman slots. Because it doesn't... because I accidentally selected main unit again. Never mind, enemy robots fight each other. Kind of the second genre besides tokusatsu, third-person action games that need more representation in the mainstream. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could definitely go for, like, not just Mecha, but also even mentioning, like, tokusatsu. Like, God, we need more games that really deliver on that, like, that concept. The best ones still made by Hideki Kamiya.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's... funny enough, actually, Area, that reminds me, because I did see you posted, like, one of the in the DMC Discord we're in. Like, apparently there was a PS1 Kamen Rider game that just played like Resident Evil. Like, it was pre-rendered backgrounds and tank controls.
Oh, yeah, I saw a video of that pop up, and that blew
was
my
it by
mind.
C-Bit? Because, like, that was,
yeah,
like...
it was...
Yeah, that was the one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was like, that was... for what it's worth, that was, like, a surprise to me, too, learning that existed.
Yeah, it's like, wait, you mean they really actually made a Resident Evil style tokusatsu like Kamen Rider game? Yeah. That's also kind of an action game?
Kinda. Yeah. It's weird. Might have to add that to like the growing list of games that I'll eventually put on an SD card to use with like a PS1 ODE. If I can ever get a PS1 with an ODE. But, you know, money.
Yeah.
Let's go fight in space.
Yeah. Also, I don't think you showed off the team attacks for them, did you?
Right. Yeah, which I hope this mission will go on long enough for it to happen. Knew about some of those Garo games, but the Garo... maybe remove the U from that because that implies a very different series than actual Garo. But yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, Garo. That's a fucking series. All right. Yeah. Long time no see, Basmo. Wait, that's the
Yeah, I was just
fighting
thinking
game?
of Gar.
Yeah, Garo, like the ending with a U. Yeah, the one that's otherwise known as Fatal Fury. That's the one. That's the fighting game. And of course, since we're back in space, naturally, with this being the same engine, 6 degrees of freedom, baby.
Oh boy, this gets like really disorienting quick.
It's beautiful. I feel like proper for real space combat in mecha games, if you could afford to do it, is the ultimate flex.
Yeah.
Like Armored Core never had like actual space combat. If it did that, it would be like the literal unstoppable God King of mecha games for eternity. Frankly, I feel like that's the only way it could have gone forward after Last Raven if they decided to actually maintain the same classic style that they had for 10 games straight. But alas, they decided to ruin it. Whatever. But this at least is still really fun, especially with the as just another way to kind of get you into the Macross fantasy, as it were, since, you know, you did have actual dogfights in space, and it was sick. Nadeshiko is one planet too far out.
Also, yeah, like it's not like you're just fighting in space. Look how fast you're going, too.
Yeah. And because this is the strike pack as well, you know, we get like an additional weapon to use with our shift select system. We got super missiles.
Mm-hmm.
As of the regular missiles weren't enough. Anyway, let's get over to this target quickly to speed things along. This also highlights as well, like when playing as the Macross units, how like on PS2 there was actually a for real Macross game that was developed by Sega AM2 and based on the TV series and Do You Remember Love? And you know that one, when it was the way it was designed, was more akin to like a flight-based game that happened to have like a mecha control system for when you were in Batroid mode. And this kind of highlights as well how, like, that really was the only 3D Macross game of that type where it felt like it was a flight game first. Whereas here you kind of start to see, like with this game, and then, you know, the PSP Macross games by Artdink are the other standout example, where it's like they basically built the flight model, like a rudimentary arcadey flight model, on top of a high-speed, like, arcadey mecha control model, you know, something that's very virtual on inspired at its core.
Right, yeah.
So it's the sort of thing where this is still, like, an incredibly fun way to kind of get that Macross fantasy, as it were, but it does, like, even after you play that original, like, PS2 game, you still feel like there's, like, a missed opportunity by like, no developer going back to that style.
Yeah, that would have been interesting if they kept, like, iterating on that, though. I want to see, like, how that would have looked.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where I feel like if Namco Bandai had, like, half a mind to fully remember, like, the extent of, like, what all their different studios and development teams are, they would fucking give a Macross game to the Ace Combat team. They would just give it to them, and then they'd see what happens. Because at the very least, it's like, the flight model would be guaranteed to be awesome. And as for, like, the actual, like, robot, like, Batroid model, you know, I imagine it would probably not play the same as it did in, like, the one that AM2 made. But I imagine they would at least have half a mind to make sure that it felt like you were it controlled, like, other mecha games out there and how Macross has controlled in that form in the past.
Banco, do you remember Macross?
Good one. Yeah. We gotta keep getting more of these targets out of the way. Oh wait, I think someone actually just took care of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless it just straight up like collided into the Macross, which boy, that'd be pretty embarrassing. Okay, there it is. We got like a team attack. I kind of want to see if there's a. Ah, shit. Maybe I should have. Oh, no, hold on.
Wait, there's something to use it on.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see this in action.
Oh, that's a good Macross shit.
Mm-hmm. God bless you, Roy Fokker. No pineapple salad is gonna do you in today.
It's fine. He lives in the crossover games.
Yeah. Yeah. Him, Musashi, Guy, they're all having a blast together. Yeah, that's what like the more specific combination attacks look like. And the way that they're implemented in A.C.E. is a bit different in the sense that like it's more like in A.C.E. they kind of have like two phases to them. One is where basically every unit kind of takes turn doing like a bunch of generic attacks back and forth, and then it detects during that, you know, if you have compatible units, it will then switch to the second half of the attack where it will then play out a specific cutscene involving those units performing their ultimate combo attack.
Right. Are all the like combination attacks like series specifics, or are there any that don't involve in it?
I know in A.C.E. that there are like specific combination attacks that don't require units to all be from the same series. I forget exactly what the reasoning for it might be. It might have been something like I don't know, maybe something like an inside joke as far as casting. I don't know, because I know there was one that involves a lot of combinations between like King Geiner and like Overman King Geiner and Eureka 7 and Gundam X. Like for some reason, those three specifically. Oh, look at that. You saw like the gun pod angle itself as like the lock-on target was going off screen.
I did.
There's still little bits of like attention to detail like that are still really great when you see them.
Yeah, it's like they didn't need to put that in, but they did.
Yeah. Whoops, I guess maybe like my mistake. This actually wasn't the one where the Macross transforms, but whatever. You kind of got to see ultimately what the what the space combat looks like again, and how much nicer it is to control, since like this is a much faster game. But let's find us a different mission, and we'll switch over to the. I'm feeling like I'm in a Nadeshiko mood, so we'll do that. We'll go back to an earlier operation. Take on a space elevator. So, and rather than like bringing like a full group with us, we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna get Akito with 4 different versions of his pink Estevalis we can choose. With this one obviously being reserved for space because it's 0G. But then like, yeah, here's like all the different like special like armored variants and whatnot. But let's keep it simple. Let's keep it recognizable. Ever since starting with game dev, I learned to appreciate this kind of attention to detail a lot more. Yeah. You do realize a lot very quickly just how much like that sort of like TLC matters in a game if you can spare the time to put it in. Time for elevator action. God, elevator action returns. Now that's a fucking game. Oh, why is? Oh, silly man, I forgot to confirm. God damn it, again, like this menu selection is still kind of annoying. I really wish it was more like, you select the unit like this way. Oh, that explains why motherfucker, like, again, like, I forgot to swap down to Unit 1 so that I replaced Akito with Guy, so now Akito's on like, the backup on Unit 1. This is my main unit. But whatever. We got the two Geki Gengar fanboys. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll remember as well, before the stream is up, I would be remiss if we did not show off God Gundam and how it makes its entrance.
Yeah, we need to have God Gundam appear at least once.
Yep. Estevalis units are also, like, I think, yeah, like, the Estevalis units, yeah, like, they actually fulfill kind of, like, a desire for me, like, with the, A.C.E. that I do really appreciate, which is, because of the fact that they're mecha with rollers in their feet, and when you're on the ground, they roll around at high speeds, it basically gives me my, fix of Armored Trooper Votons, even though Votoms itself is not in this game, or in the series in general. Because, I mean, look at that. Look how good that is. And yep, it's the it's the OP from the TV series.
And yeah, Arian, this is like a Giantess crossover game.
Yep. Something was hitting me from behind.
It's unfortunate they can't. Votoms couldn't be here, but it'd be really hard to have them in this type of game, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, God, like, again, it is forever a shame that it's like, we're never going to have this type of game with, like, a roster that is as big and epic as, like, the Super Robot Wars Z series.
Yeah. Which had some of the best, like, rosters in any SRW game.
Yeah, and like Alpha series was basically the best one before that. But then Z, like, by the end of it, was like, how about we have, like, every Gainax-produced mecha anime series all in one? And even as someone who is not, like, a big fanboy for those series, I still, like, appreciate and understand the significance of a lot of them. And yeah, You Get to Burning was, like, the OP playing, like, at the start, since we're playing the Nadeshiko units. Although, as you also noticed, just like in the previous game, it was just, like, non-vocal cover of it, as it were. Oh my god, just stop hitting me, whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's like...
I think
we don't get the vocal covers until the third game.
Or... So this is the other interesting thing. Because of the success of the third game using the actual vocal versions of the anime openings, they did a special re-release of A.C.E. called Special Vocal Edition, where you do get those, like, full vocal versions of the opening themes. There we go. That said, though, while I do own Special Vocal Edition and had thought about playing it for this one, I decided just for the sake of the continuity of, like, these game releases for the series that I would stick to the original release. That and, like, there was, like, a very specific, like, opening and ending credits themes for this game specifically that... For whatever reason, they did not have the license to renew those when they did the Special Vocal Edition, so where those tracks are supposed to be got replaced with just the regular, you know, like, instrumental tracks that this game already has, like the combat music you're hearing.
Huh. That's... Oh, here we go. Yep. Just punch the building.
Yeah. And this part of the structure naturally takes a fuck ton of hits to take down. Although I gotta hold on. Yeah, just the enemies that, like, try and get in your way here are absolutely annoying to say the least.
Yeah, especially since you're on a time limit too.
Yeah. Although I think the time limit is just more like how long you have to operate before you need to leave. So just destroy as much of the space elevator as you can.
Yeah.
But I'll at least play like the second part of this operation afterwards, because I know that'll give us a better opportunity to show off the Guy and Akito's combination attack. And yeah, I love just because this is Guy's specific Estevalis. He is, he has to make everything he do show how much of a super robot fanboy he is. So he has no problem making his real robot unit just punch something really hard and call out its attack name.
God bless this man.
God bless this man. It is a shame you had to die at the end of the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
But whatever, it was kind of important that he had to, since it was like to kind of demonstrate like the greater point of like that series. And just the subversion of expectations that like this civilian crew manning a ship with state-of-the-art mecha, waging like like contributing to like a war effort to protect the Earth from invaders is not all fun and games. Even that is true. Even Kamina lasted longer than that. He lasted 8 episodes.
I can't think of many like characters who died as fast as Guy did.
Yeah.
And he just gets shot.
Yeah.
He just gets shot.
Like nothing dramatic about it. He just like sees dudes that have stuck onto the ship when they're not supposed to be there, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And then they turn around and shoot him and leave. Like, oh god, what a fucking gut punch that moment is. And it just sends Akito into like a depressive fugue state where he's just binge watching Geki Gengar over and over. Because he needs something to make him feel better about life. Yeah, we're gonna launch again, see if like this second half of the operation, now that we're at the top of the elevator, will actually give us enough meter build-up to do a combination attack. I need the talent contest episode to counter that now. Come on. Go. Don't get caught on the deal with these dumb flying missile platforms.
Also, another reason why it's bad that why the fucking movie keeps popping up.
Yeah.
Is
like
that you don't get... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just the fact that like those characters in the movie are not the fun versions.
Well, not only are they not the fun versions, but whenever they pop up in a crossover, that means we'll never get You Get to Burning. We get whatever the shitty movie version is.
Yeah, just
movie
like
song is.
The like whatever the movie theme was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, someday I'm gonna get back around to actually like rewatching Nadeshiko again, because it has been so long. It deserves it.
It does.
And even then, like this MIDI cover version, not too bad. And of course, as I always like to mention, me and Kaboom especially, Martian's successor in Nadeshiko, part of the Spike Spencer Power Hour, along with Neon Genesis Evangelion. Let's just get to the fucking top of this thing.
Yeah. Why not just take your time to punch it? It takes so long to come out.
Yeah.
There are some attacks which just take forever, especially when you start using God Gundam.
Yeah. Although I think even when it comes to like melee potential, God Gundam is still like so much better at this than a lot of the other units are.
Yeah.
But also like I will say, like, with like the chain weapon system and how like it's supposed to work. Oh wait, I just realized the combination. I can just get locked onto a regular enemy. There we go. You know, I don't know how long it'll take to finish the rest of this mission, so let's just do the combo right now.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Double Gekigon Flare!
God flare.
God. Yeah,
that's a good shit.
the world deserves like a fully explored alternate continuity where Guy and Akito, you know, like Guy gets to live and Akito just continues to hang out with him and be the best of bros. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna go back to a free mission. That was just to ultimately get to the point where I could show that that combination attack because it is beautiful. Let's see.
It was worth it for that.
Yeah. Trying to remember which. Oh right, yeah, because like some of these later operations start tying in more to the finales of like the other series that are in this. Like Operation 25 is like I think tied to Brain Powered, and then like 26 onward, basically the end game is all about about stopping the Zentradi. I'm trying to find though if I can remember where it is. Yeah, there it is, because like there is a fight with the Devil Gundam.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad there is. There should be.
Mm-hmm. But I think before we show that off, because I don't think it will really give us like the best opportunity to show it, I'll try and find like another mission that I can demonstrate God Gundam with while we're at it. Yeah, we'll do this. And then we'll just bring in some miscellaneous Gundams in the process. Oh wait, no, even better. I think this... Will it let me... Oh, no, right, because... Oh, fuck, that's right. This was one of those missions where, like, God Gundam is present in the mission, and thus he can't play as him. What a pain.
Oh, darn.
Maybe the
so
second...
much for that.
Maybe the second one, I think. Maybe that will work. Yeah, because now it's freed up. Yes! Yes, we can! And just to give you a sense of what he's got, you know, all these different, you know, shift select weapons, but also, you know, pretty healthy array of different melee combos. And the important thing that makes God Gundam stand out is that the more you attack and deal damage and kill enemies, you build up a meter in which he powers up. Like the first power up being like the wings on the back fold out. And, like, by getting into those powered-up states is how you're able to do Burning Finger and Sekiha Tenkyoken. Oh, Batroid time was just the condition for an attack. Oh, that's what you... that's, I guess, what that translation was, according to Haseo, what the context was. Anyway, let's at least go in with, like, all Gundam best we can. Actually, you know, me and... I got a team. Me and my two Chars.
It's perfect, yes. You got Trays and...
Well, we got
Char.
Yeah, we got Zex and Char right here. Even though Zex is not wearing his mask right now, whatever. He's currently unmasked, showing how much of a handsome, beautiful bastard he is.
This is the...
God
I was
damn
gonna
it,
say
this selected. God damn it.
Oh, darn. Boo.
Again, this menu for selection will be a lot more streamlined in the third game, I promise. The mask is just a limiter. Now here's how he departs.
Yeah.
Finger snap. Not even on the runway, just lands directly on top of the bridge.
Like it should be, like it's God intended it to be. At least he's not popping out of the Statue of Liberty.
If only.
That is still my favorite running joke in G Gundam. How it just keeps popping up and destroying out of all these random places.
Yeah. But whatever. I'm like Neo America probably has their own Neo Statue of Liberty on the colony anyway, so they don't care what happens to the old one.
Probably.
Anyway, like this is one of those like defend missions, but it like should be easy enough because we're super powerful. Yeah, flying in the sky. And that's what your dash looks like.
That's your dash.
What a fucking scad this mecha is. God bless Domon.
They knew what they were doing.
Rapid fire punches. And look at that, like my melee combo even transitioned nicely to the next lock-on target that was right behind me and redirected. That was great. Alright, let's see. And you got that.
And then this led us to having Shin get her in the third game.
Yeah, like the slow inclusion of more supers. That said, though, the building is taking quite a bit of damage, so I gotta be real fast and on top of things here. But you can see, at least under like the selection of weapons we got, or above it rather, there's that meter that says hyper, and it's filling up ever so slowly. Well, kind of quickly at this point.
Right.
Just there it is.
Yeah.
King of Hearts.
Tommy. Oh, look, we got another meter now.
Yep. Yeah, that's the second one for like once that fills up, we enter another phase of hyper mode in which like it just turns completely golden. And so at this point, if we wanted to, we could go straight into using Burning Finger. But if we go all the way into like the final hyper mode, as it were, oh god damn it, this thing's actually almost dead. Fuck. Yeah. Actually, no, it was already gonna fail anyway. I forgot what difficulty did I fucking leave this thing on? Because I feel like I
don't know. You think you put on a harder difficulty or what?
Ace,
or an easier one?
Pilot, A.C.E. Yeah, pilot's supposed to be normal. I guess I maybe just wasn't the absolute like best choice for that, but yeah, whatever. Let's that's another one actually. Let's just do what is right and perform like and do the fight with Devil Gundam. You can kind of see how they try and manage that particular battle. Oh, it's yeah, Jesus, almost a fucking Domon jump scare right there, just shouting right at the start. Whatever, we already saw this. We could go straight into the fight. But yeah, that also reminds me, we definitely need to do like one of the other earlier boss fights that takes place in space. It's that one where I also had it unlocked as a playable unit that is only available in space.
Too bad they don't let you have Darkness Gundam too.
No.
Oh.
But hey, at least in at least when it gets to A.C.E, not only does God Gundam return, but we also get Master Gundam.
Yeah. Mason and Dolan meeting comparing photos.
Mason and Dolan meeting comparing photos, something like that.
Look at him.
It's like, have you seen this man? No. But have you seen a little girl? Black hair, 7 years old. So yeah, you got to deal with like all like the tendrils coming out of the ground, as well as like the main head, as it were. I do love that this theme is playing though. You know, like just the big epic climactic battle theme that plays like near the end of a major fight in G Gundam.
It's so good.
It's the sort of thing where, God, if this series was able to continue, like, in a way that was good and still have G Gundam, I would at least hope that there would have been a, Like, have God Gundam, obviously, but include Shining Gundam, but, like, with Rain piloting it. And I want that, if only so that they can bullshit a reason to have the Sekiha Love Left Token as a combination attack.
Yeah.
I want to see how they would have 3D rendered the King of Hearts as it is grimacing you down as it's just charging head first.
Yeah, we need that. We need that something, like, fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this just reminds me, like, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was like, they should make a fighting game, but they did make a G Gundam fighting game. The problem is the G Gundam fighting game wasn't very good.
No, definitely not. The only other games you can think of where, like, it would make sense to want to, like, play as G Gundam in a fighting game context is, like, you're better off just playing, like, whatever units are represented in the Gundam Versus series.
Yeah. The thing is, like, they did make a Gundam Wing, they did make a Gundam Wing fighting game. That was really good.
Yeah.
It's really broken, but it's good.
Something like that, yeah. Just gonna keep going. Yeah, it's just a reminder again where it's like, you know, like, this is like an anime licensed game. You have all kinds of difficulty levels. So, like, if you really wanted to and just have, like, an easy time having fun, dashing around, blasting stuff or whatever, like, the rookie, like, easy difficulty is obviously good for that. But, you know, this is still by From Software, like, back in these days. So even then, it's like they kind of knew with their higher difficulty levels. Even the normal one, it can still be pretty punishing if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it can get pretty hard.
God, G Gundam is such a classic.
It's the best. I love G Gundam.
I am morally in the right for saying that it is the best Gundam series.
You are punching, like, tentacles with Gundam faces on them.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least we finished the mission. We took it down. That said, though, like, the actual plot of G Gundam doesn't really factor in by the end. It's just Domon's doing stuff. He finds the Devil Gundam. He takes it down. Now he's just gonna help out everyone else with the rest of their problems.
Yeah, I kind of love that, and I think in, like, the later Super Robot Wars games where he's in, and it's like every time it's like a posted G Gundam plot, it's just Domon being everybody's bro.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I see you being angry there. I've been there.
Yeah.
You need to.
We can fight it out if we need to. Sometimes the only way to understand is with your fist.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the G Gundam fight.
And there's the Macross.
Yeah, returns from space. Yeah, speaking of... and still like an ace rank at the end of that, even for all the damage I took. Just, like, did really good on the chain combos and, like, the time it took to complete and all that. Let's actually get to one more. Like, well, like, I'm gonna see if I can find, like, that other boss mission. The one that I know that is, like, related to Stardust Memory. Let's see. Because it's in an earlier operation. Like, it takes place in space. I know that much. I think. Unless, God, I don't even remember. Well, I don't know. That unit I showed that could only be deployed in space, like that gigantic, humongous green-looking Xeon unit.
Yeah,
like that. That's supposed to be a boss of this, but I don't want to sift through all of these space missions to find specifically the one that it is. Is Men of Destiny in this game? As in,
the theme song of the opening theme for Gundam, Stardust Memories. Yeah,
I'd not be surprised if it is. I mean, I wouldn't recognize it because I've not watched the OVA. I know it exists, and and all that stuff, but whatever. Let's actually just get to let's get to the end actually. So yeah, like the entire last operation is basically the final battle with the Zentradi and Do You Remember Love? With actually playing this operation on this non-special vocal edition version, I wonder if they're still gonna, if they were still able to, like, I wonder is Oboete Masuka gonna be like just a MIDI like cover without like any of like the actual vocals, or will they have still like shelled out the money for it, because that's such an important scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever, let's just go through the final episode. We'll switch back. We'll actually, because I don't think I ever, I didn't get to really showing it off in the first Ace, even though like they were available there. Let's end things with like the Dragonar team. Even though it's like, it would make more sense thematically if we were playing as like Skull Squadron, but whatever. And there's number 3. We're all equipped for space combat. Yeah, let's show off what like what the end game is like. Wild as well, especially with like this being like the space unit version for like for Dragonar 1 in particular. Like Dragonar 1, it has like those built-in wings as part of its design that naturally makes sense when it's on the ground. But like since this is in space with no real like atmosphere to fly through, it's like they gotta realize the wings aren't necessary. Entering a space mission with a ground unit and just floating after launch. Oh my god, they actually did get the vocal version.
Yeah. Oh my god, they did.
They actually understood. They understood the assignment and did it.
Yeah. They shelled out the money for it.
Like, you are not gonna skimp on like Min May's best song and one of the most emotionally impactful songs of the entire series.
Yeah. I'm glad they understood. I'm glad they knew what they were doing here.
Thank God, yeah. But it also kind of makes me regret like not showing like the other parts of the operation beforehand, but that is obviously kind of clunky with this being free mission. If this were like in the actual campaign, you would be going through these missions back to back to back, and it would be like a lot more of a continuous whole. But I do want to get to the end of this because the cutscene that it does play is again like a replica of like the scene when like Belldozer gets his face melted and blown up, but instead of Hikaru in his VF1 doing it, it's your player mech with like a astral projection of Min May right behind you. Love Ace mod on my PS2 to play it. Yeah, same. Like, I think as far as, like, first games that I had, like, imported games that I modified my PS2 so I could play imports for, like, this game was actually the first, I think it was. And yeah, exploding heads. Who doesn't love a good exploding head scene? Japan, apparently. Alright. Yeah, seriously, like it's like this whole like kind of going through like the long corridor inside the main ship is supposed to be just that moment from the end of Do You Remember Love but playable. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Lock-on still has its kind of annoying moments naturally, but whatever. I mean, if I was playing if I was playing a more familiar unit, I wouldn't mind this much because I would just be like killing them all with ease. But let's just keep keep rushing forward best we can.
I like how all your melee attacks are just you headbutting everything.
Yeah, because it's like there can't be enough reasonable room for like arm articulation with all that shit on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and here's Domon's final contribution. He's the one that actually breaks down the barrier and lets us through. I'll admit, when I finished this game for the first time, I was playing as God Gundam, that felt most appropriate. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
you can't even see any of her below the eyes.
That's so goofy. That's so goofy looking.
RX-78 in this cinematic is great. But I don't think that particular unit is actually in this game. The RX-78 is in A.C.E, though. I know that, but yeah, that's...
culture.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how the game ends, basically. And then you go into, like, a playable credit sequence where you're just blowing up enemies as the credits are overlaid the screen. And I think it's, like, I feel like there's, like, some conditions that you have to like meet during that playable credit sequence that I forget what they are, but I know that they result in like somewhat different ending cinematics, stuff that I think has to do with like whether or not like your whether the main original characters actually make it out in time and are able to return to Earth, or if they're going to drift endlessly in space. Oh yeah, and then there's all these like extra combat related bonus missions, which isn't a lot. Like there's like these kind of, yeah, like, because like they're just extra 1, 2, and 3, and then there's like all these extra ones which are basically about fighting a representative from each of the different anime series that are in this game, as it were. And then it loops back around to like the start of Operation 1-1. So like that's basically all you get. Like A.C.E has like a similar thing with like its bonus missions where it is like extra kind of big endurance levels where you're just fighting waves upon waves of enemies, no story, no extra fluff, and then a bunch of small boss missions where it's, you know, fight specific units from each of the anime series represented. And it's like, cool. Wish the FromSoft Mecha returned for 2. Cloudbreaker was great. Yeah, Cloudbreaker was all right. I mean, at the very least, it was in a much better game than the one that spawned it. That's for sure. Murakumo was not a good game, to say the least. But that's A.C.E 2. Focusing a lot on what was possible gameplay-wise with this one. You know, naturally, this is, yeah, so much of it is like a legit great upgrade. Is like, it's so good. A.C.E's locking the original Getter team behind completion of the main story was lousy. Oh god, that's right. I forgot that was the case. Like, yeah, you only have like Go, K, and Guy as like your playable team for Shin Getter at the start. I mean, it's not like it really results in there being like different attacks that they can do, but it's just nice being able to hear Ryoma just shout Stoner Sunshine.
Yeah,
like that part's good. But yeah, A.C.E, unsurprisingly, that will be covered on the stream 2 weeks from now. You'll see the conclusion to the Another Centuries episode saga, and nothing else was made after that. Do not correct us.
Yes, there is nothing after that. A.C.E was the last Ace game.
Yeah. But not the last time that its gameplay was used, funny enough. Like this specific style of like control for a mecha. It's actually a PS3 game based on Gundam Unicorn, if you can fucking believe it.
That's wild.
Oh, that'll be a fun one to show once we get to it, because it is like it almost feels like it should be an anomaly, but considering how like this was the last how like Ace-3 was like the last true Another Centuries episode game. Like it felt kind of nice to see them revisit that gameplay concept and make it more specialized to like the priorities of like a space-focused Gundam game, as it were. But thanks again for being on this week to re-experience just how absolutely fucking awesome Another Centuries episode is.
Yeah, it was a good time. Thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, and we'll see you again 2 weeks from now for Ace-3, the final. Again, further highlighting how there was no Another Centuries episode after it. They were very clear that it was the final. All right, and thanks again as well, everyone, for tuning in to watch this. As for what will be happening next week for Year of the Mecha, as we wait for Ace-3, in another example of me knowing so much about mecha games you probably never fucking heard of this one, we'll be playing a DS game. Kaboom Dragoon will be on for that one. It is another game from the good folks at Sandlot, your friends and mine. If you remember, Robot Alchemic Drive Earth Defense Force is like that. They made something extra kooky with mecha that was playable with the on the DS, and it's great.
You all better come and check it out then.
Yeah, you fucking better. Like it's the one game that's going to be getting me to make use of DS emulation on this channel. Because how else am I going to capture it? Alright. Time to get this wrapped up. Take care of other errands during the day. You all have a good rest of your weekend. Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.
Game over.